everybody, to Ignite Humanity Live. I'm Lady JB, your host, and I'm here today on location in Las Vegas. That's right, I'm in Las Vegas. I'm here to do some interviews and some teaching, coaching, training, and hanging out with some incredible, amazing people who are igniting humanity. And also the Latin American Music Awards are here, and so being a part of that, all kinds of fun things are unfolding. And of course, it's great to be in a different city to see all the diversity and the uniqueness, the melting pot of individuals that come together to be in one place to have a really incredible time. I will say I walked into the lobby last night and it was crazy. There were so many people. I was like, what's going on? But it was interesting because in one little section, there was a wedding going on. And so there was a bunch of a bride and groom, and then all the family was there. So that was like one beautiful celebration. I don't know what was going on, but there was another man in another area in an entire head to toe astronaut suit holding his astronaut helmet. There was a bunch of people taking pictures with him. A few feet down, there was this girl head to toe in glitter and glamour and sequins and just absolutely phenomenally dressed. And she had people taking pictures with her. And the fun excitement is just people were smiling. They were together. They were having photos. They were laughing. They were interacting. And it was just beautiful to see people together, but fascinating within a few short feet, a bride, an astronaut, a glamour girl. And then, of course, people just wanting to once again be together, communicate, connect, and really feel that connection. And that's really what humanity is all about. And why we do this show is because we have to come together. We have to feel connected to our neighbor, connected to a stranger, be willing to smile to someone we don't know, be willing to go out into society and interact with people to make a bigger impact. And that is why we do this show, is we want to talk to you and share with you people that are around the globe doing interesting, dynamic, and diverse things that are helping them make their impact on the planet and create their ripple effect and have their impact out there. And so we want to share with you ideas that you can do it too. No matter where you are in the world, you don't have to be in Vegas. You don't have to be anywhere. You just have to be where you are. And where you are is perfect. And where you are in your life is in this moment. You're watching this show, and that means you're ready to do something to ignite your life and ignite the lives of others. And so, as always, we have phenomenal guests, and today we have an amazing, amazing individual. Today's guest is Chrissy Levett. She is a positive creative artist, a UK-based designer, and a creative director who studied at the Royal College of Art in London. She's won a number of creative industry awards, is a TEDx speaker, believing creative thinking is vital for all of us to solve the world's greatest challenges. And I am so in agreement with her there. Now the founder and CEO for Creative Conscious, a global movement set up to encourage, reward, train, and support creative thinkers to use their talent for social, environmental impact. Chrissy has an honorary doctorate in design. She's passionate about behavioral change, and she's all about education. She's really one of those people that are moving the needle. I know if she was here, she would have a ride. There's like an astronaut, a bride, all these people, so much diversity, fun, creativity in the room. We'll welcome her to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Miss Chrissy Levett.
Oh, thank you so much, JB. What a lovely introduction. Thank you for having us.
Well, thanks for being here. I know that you are not in Las Vegas. Tell people where you are.
London, UK. That's where
London, UK. That's the great thing about this show, is we get to go all over the world and meet people from everywhere. Yesterday we were in Dubai. Earlier this week we were in South Africa, and last week we were in Europe and Australia. It's so fun. We're in different countries, but we have one common denominator. That's that human experience. And even one layer deeper, you love to say that everyone is creative. They have creativity in them. Talk a little bit about your passion.
Well, I believe that we're all creative. We've had that conversation before. And if you're a human being, you're basically creative. You know, people say, oh, I'm not creative, but they really are. If anyone has had an idea about anything, that's creativity. If you've ever imagined anything, that's creativity. So we're all about getting people to tap into their creativity, and then to use that talent and skill for social and environmental impact to build a better world.
So talk a little bit about that too, because some people feel like social impact, I don't know how to make a social impact. I don't even know what a social impact is. Can you describe social impact from your narrative?
So I guess it's just making a difference. It's making a difference in your family, in your community, where you work, or even bigger in the world, right? So if you can take something you love and a passion that you have for something, and then mash that together with maybe a complaint, that's a really, really fantastic sweet spot, because you can use your passion to change the complaint that you might have in the world. And that's what we do. We train people around that, and we have a creative impact program, but we have also a digital platform that's all around young people and getting them involved in this stuff.
Yeah, we've talked about that before. Like, most creative people love solving a problem. So they'll see a problem, they'll see a hole in the market, they'll see a disruption, or they'll see a breakdown, and they start to use their mind in a way to solve that problem, or re-engineer it, or redesign it. Can you talk about that? Because I know in your hub, in your ecosystem, you are seeing that those light bulbs go off, those ignite moments every single day with your, obviously, your colleagues and your trainees, that they take a problem and they re-engineer it, or they see it differently.
Yeah, I mean, what we did sort of 10 years ago was set up this digital platform to try and encourage the creative industry, if you like, to really focus on solving the world's greatest problems. But, 10 years ago, 11 years ago, 12 years ago, no one was talking about ocean plastics. No one was talking about, climate justice or social justice. And so what we did was we thought we would go in to the next generation. So we started working with art schools and education systems to embed this idea in there. And then out of that came the kind of training and the talks and the events that kind of we do as an organization. We're an NGO, so it's not a business model, although we survive through business, but we are what you would call, I think over there, not-for-profit, a charity. So I think I gave you an example once before, but we had a young girl send us a project, and she was from Romania, Eleanor. And Eleanor created the most beautiful graphic novel. It was 166 pages, all done on a Wacom, on a digital device. And it was around the issues of teenage suicide and bullying. Eleanor created this project. She sent it to us. She won an award. It was kind of pushed out into the world through different channels and with our help. And that project touched the lives of millions and millions of young people all over the world. Eleanor received messages saying that it had saved lives and stopped negative behaviors like self-harm. So what Eleanor had done was she'd used her talent to draw. She was an illustrator and animator. She had used her talent to create this story, but that story had come from her own personal experience of being bullied as a young child. So what we see here is that very example. Mm-hmm. It's very, very powerful. And we all have some kind of negative story from our past, perhaps, or with a relative, and we all have talents and skills that we can use to shift that story and change that narrative.
It really is the Ignite Humanity model. Something has happened to you in your life, you've had an experience, and through that experience, you've decided to do something that is going to positively impact others, make a positive change, a positive influence, a positive ripple effect. And I love that story. I can't wait to read that graphic novel. I'd love to support her. I'd love to be able to showcase her and share it on the link and share it with our viewers, because that to me really is just the most beautiful, raw example of how you take an idea or you take an experience and you turn it into good. And you and I have talked a lot about how people become the hero of their journey and the hero of their experience, and how that impacts lives. And the same with you. And so let's dive a little bit into you. What's your hero's story? What was the journey that carried you into deciding that this was something you wanted to do for others and help others?
Well, I kind of always say out of despair comes great learnings. So I was definitely at the time in a place of despair. I'm not going to go into too many details about that. A number of things were going on in my personal life. I was lead creative for an agency here in the UK, in London. We did lots of product and branding, and I was really miserable. Even though, you know, from the outside, it might look like I was living the dream, but, you know, I could see that the things that we were creating and the things that we were making through this agency actually wasn't serving the world. It was, you know, plop. More stuff, more sugar, more high, you know, ultra high network things, alcohol, sweets, just products that we just didn't need. And I was miserable. And it was really from a place of despair that this idea came to kind of me. And then I shared this idea, well, how do we create a platform where we bring lots of industry people together and encourage people to use their creative, in this sense, design and art, to create change? And as I said, you know, our industry was not interested in that at the time. So that's why we went to the youngsters, to the kind of art schools and the universities, to encourage them to start sending us their projects through this kind of award scheme that we built.
And so whenever I sneeze, I'm like, that's God saying, like, good idea.
Well, more sneezes, please, then, JB.
Exactly. It was such a good idea. And again, it was, you know, you watched that model of out of problem comes great solution, and out of angst comes, you know, great awakening. And I think some people may be watching the show feeling a great amount of angst. They may feel that they're stuck, or they don't see a way out, or there is a lot of tension in what's going on. And you and I both love to say, like, that is the springboard of opportunity. Would you talk a little bit about that? Because I feel like some people feel like it's being done to them, or it's, you know, it's a hardship, or they just feel stuck and they can't see that if they just turn, pivot, shift a little, opportunity is right around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, there's a very famous Stanford economist called Paul Romer who says a crisis is a terrible thing to waste. And you're exactly right. You know, it's only when we are in a recession, or when we're sort of struggling, actually, that humanity becomes really, really innovative and powerful. It's not when we're all sitting around and we're all kind of luxuriating and everything's good. It's from crises and recessions that we become most inventive. And that's a really powerful thing to keep hold of, I think, as well. And like you say, try and see something negative as an opportunity. What am I being taught here? What can I use? How can I use this situation to sort of turn it on its head and build something that's going to make a difference? You know, I think it's very easy for us to have kind of victim mentality when things aren't working well for us. There's loads of practices that we know that we can do around journaling and gratitude and all exercise and connecting with nature. So much we can do to shift that perspective and always be looking for the positive in those negative situations. And we've all got something unique, and we've all got a talent. You know, obviously we deal with sort of design and art and all sorts of things. But there's something that you can do. You could write a song, you could knit a jumper, you know, you can do stuff and live a solution around an issue that you might have.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, folks, we have one of the most creative individuals I know, who is really you know, in her element and winning awards and instructing other people to really make creative change. Chrissy, what can you share with us that we could do at home, or what are some of the ways that we could bring forth our creativity?
I think believe that you are creative, that we're all inherently creative. I know Dr. Brené Brown talks a lot about this, that, you know, just imagine yourself as a kind of 5-year-old. And what normally happens is when you're 5, Picasso talked about this as well, we're all creative. It's just in us. We draw, we paint, we do stuff. And then by the time we're probably about 8 or 9, we've been through a system, we've been shut down by parents and teachers and guardians or whoever, and we've been told that actually we're not good at that, or we're not good at this, and then that shuts us down. So I guess just try and tap into that 3-year-old, 5-year-old self and imagine something new. And if you can imagine something new, then you can understand that you're creative. I think Einstein said imagination is more important than knowledge, because knowledge just takes us to where we already know, but imagination takes us into the unknown, the future. So get imagining, imagine what you'd like to do, imagine what you let go of, maybe when you were in your, you know, your younger self, and go, okay, well, why don't I try and revisit that? Why don't I go to a class, or writing class, or music class, or art class, or something, and just tap into that. The other great thing about tapping into one's creativity is that it really helps your mental health and well-being. And we've got a crisis around that. That's a global pandemic in the so-called developed world. So if you can couple your creativity with positive purpose, we have research and data that actually proves you will feel better about yourself. And that's super important. So yeah, just try to imagine that small person you once more, your inner child, and think about what you love to do, and then go back to that and believe that it's possible.
I remember when I was a kid, there was this TV show, and they would have like these 4 panelists, and they would give them like a really odd looking item. And they would ask each one of them, like, what is this? And on the spot, they would very creatively be like, oh, this is, you know, an upside down hanger, and it's designed to like da 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 da. And the other guy would be like, no, it's not an upside down hanger. It's actually like a thing that you're used to like bring water forth or whatever. And each one would tell like a different story about the same item. And it was fascinating to me when I watched it when I was little, because I would then go off into my room and I'd be like, well, this is not a pencil. This actually like is a thing that goes in the planter that, you know, helps the plant grow or whatever. And I would take little items in my room and I would reinvent that they weren't what they were for, but they were for something totally different. And it was actually kind of a fun lesson. And I look back on it and I think it's one of the things that has really become a gift of mine, because when a problem shows up, or when, you know, we don't know how to fix something, or we need to invent something, there's this part of my brain that always thinks back to that show. And it's like, well, you know, this isn't a file folder. This is actually like, you know, a da 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 da. And something new evolves, something new comes of it. And that sparks somebody else to say, oh yeah, well, actually this could be this. And it is really fun. So folks, go through your house today and just find something very, you know, mundane, and be like, and play with yourself, play with your kids, play with the idea that it could be something different. And, or, you know, I always love, because I don't know if you ever did this, like, this lamp is always here. I'm going to go move it over here and see it in a totally different perspective. Or I've always had my furniture like this, or I'm going to color code all my sweaters in my closet, and just challenge your brain to think in a different way instead of the mundane, because I feel like that is the, you know, the diminisher of creativity when we get into repetition and monotony. And I think about you, I look at the photo beside you or the art beside you, and I can only imagine, like, when you're really stepping into your creativity and you're with your clients, you're really looking at things like they've never been seen or addressed before. I know it's not really a question, but I just imagine and envision that about you, because I was even thinking while you were talking, like, I can't wait to go to her studio. I can't wait to go to London and like just walk around and see all the things that she's doing.
Come, you're very welcome. I make you very welcome.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, one of the things we love also to talk about is some of our principles, some of the principles of igniting humanity. In your opinion, do you feel like, and of course we know the answer, is there one thing that's going to ignite humanity for you?
Yeah, well, basically getting people to tap into their creative thinking, then use that creative thinking to make a difference in the world, positive difference in the world against an issue that might be going on, and just have fun, you know, like changing the world, I think can sometimes, especially in the current climate, can feel quite a heavy thing and then kind of serious, and you can do amazing things and you can have a lot of fun with it. And it's actually really important that we get back to play, because we've kind of, I think sometimes as adults, we get very stuck in this sort of seriousness. So yeah, be in action, enjoy yourselves, use your talents for good. And if enough of us buy into sort of that, then I think we have a chance to survive and to make good.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Can you chat a little bit, the difference between the right brain and the left brain thinking? Because I know a lot of people have heard that term and they're not sure which one. Is there a right one versus the right brain thinking versus the left brain thinking?
Do you know what? I think there's been a lot of data and research around this. My eldest son studied physics, right? So you could say, well, he's definitely a left brainer. However, he, is really into sort of doing drawing and creating stuff. So I think it's a bit of a kind of, what's the word? It's not necessarily something that I think we need to get into. I think if you think about Leonardo da Vinci or someone like that, he was a scientist and a doctor and an inventor and an artist. It kind of doesn't matter. I think we just have to understand that we're all creative and we can train different parts of our brains and our eyes and our hands and our movement through practice. And it's good for us. It's really good for us to connect to our creative side. Doesn't matter what sort of brain you have.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything you could share with our audience that has recently been going on for you, or something a project that you're working on that you're feeling really passionate about?
Yeah, we just last year we were working on a project with 4 universities and a whole load of amazing organizations and NGOs in South Africa. South Africa has a massive problem with gender-based violence. 7 women every day are murdered in South Africa. It's got some of the highest rates of femicide, rape in the world. It's also got very high rates of teenage pregnancy or young pregnancy, 14,000 young girls in the last 4 years, some of them as young as 9. So to work on a project as a kind of studio in collaboration with creative universities over there and other organizations to change behavior around young men and boys in South Africa was really, really powerful. And that project continues. And, again, we can use film and TV and we call it I can't say edutainment to change behavior. And so that project is a recent one that we're, really proud of and excited to have been part of. Yeah.
Incredible. Incredible. I'm so glad you're doing the work that you're doing. I know that it's making a huge impact. Just what you shared in the last few moments is just, wow, we really do need to be igniting humanity in so many different ways. I know the team will put up on the screen how people can find you and connect with you. Any last words you'd love to share? And I always love having you here. Anything you'd like to leave the listeners with?
Well, yeah, just get in touch with us. We're here to help. If anyone has some stuff they want to talk about, if they want to do one of our programs, or if they work in creative education, we're here to support people. And yeah, just be brave, have fun, and get in action. Be in action. And thank you so much to you, JB, and all the team.
Thank you so much to you and all your team. All right, blessings. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day. Thanks so much for being here.
Yes, thank you. Bye.
You know, Chrissy is so inspiring to me because I love being creative. I've always considered myself creative. And, you know, the great thing about creative is you get to decide. No one gets to tell you if you're creative or not. You decide and find your own creative niche. If you love to do, you know, pottery, if you love to do knitting, if you love to do drawing, if you love to do cartooning, whatever it is, go with it, practice it. You must practice your creativity. You can't just show up one day and be like, oh, I'm not good. You know, I'm not creative at all, but I haven't been practicing. You want to practice your craft. You want to enjoy it. You want to find all facets of it. And of course, going into a craft shop or an art store and just getting new pencils, new crayons, new felts, new paints, finding new fabulous colors and papers and yarns. And I mean, I love walking through the craft store, just finding something new to do. With the weekend coming up, this is a great opportunity for you to decide, do something creative this weekend. Even folks, gardening and cooking is also another way to absolutely express your creativity. For you guys in the garage, tinkering with your cars and doing model airplanes and model cars and all kinds of stuff. Your golf game is creative. Like, really enjoy yourself and find that other side of your creativeness. All right. Well, thanks for being here. We love being on location because that means we get to be around new, creative, fun, and exciting people. And we get to bring people to you to share with you ways that they are igniting humanity. And as I hope you can see on the show, we have a diverse number of individuals from all over the globe who are igniting humanity in their own unique way. But the common denominator is they are doing something. They are making an impact. They are doing something in their small corner of the world to create a ripple effect that is going to make this world a better place. And as Chrissy said, when you see a problem, you want to create a solution. And we all need to be helping humanity have a better future. If you'd like to watch this episode or any of our other episodes, please go to ignitehumanity.life/watch and you can see everything that we've been doing. We make those episodes free for you because we want you to enjoy them and find somebody who's speaking exactly your language and inspiring you. And of course, if you want to know what we're up to, please go to ignitehumanity.life and just see all the things that we're doing, our book project, our movie, our docuseries, the many other books that we're doing. We are writing books about courage coming up. We also have a book called Ignite Your Purpose coming up. So if you would like to write your story and talk about your Ignite moment, we'd love to see you on our website, and you can see all the new books that we're up to. We are igniting lives in children through our building of schools. In a few months, we'll be traveling to Indonesia to begin our first building of our classrooms. And you could be a part of that and always donating to ignitehumanity.life/donate. Every single dollar that you donate buys a brick, a recycled brick from a creative solution pulled from plastics out of the landfills to build bricks, to build schools, to build lives, to build education, to ignite the planet. Can you see how that's working together? We want you to be a part of that. All right, well, take care. We'll see you from Las Vegas tomorrow.
Now, more than ever, we need to come together to connect with one another. We need to feel the truth in who we are and let go of everything that's happened in the past. We need to empower every person on the planet and awaken hearts, enliven souls, come together, laugh, play, rejoice, connect, create, and love. It's time to ignite humanity. We want you to be a part of something that will impact the future for everyone. We want you to tell your story, share your Ignite moment, show people who you truly are. Be a part of igniting humanity and making a difference in the world and all of our futures.